This is our town, St. Charles, Missouri, USA. A small, friendly town located on the outskirts of St. Louis, on the banks of the Missouri River. St. Charles is named after San Carlos Borromeo, Cardinal of Milan, Italy. It's the second oldest city in Missouri, full of interesting history, but also full of modern, up-to-date enterprise. The old river tales are pretty much forgotten, as are the hardy little Frenchmen who came here to trade beaver skins with the Indians. Our town is steeped in French history, and there are still many French-style homes and buildings to remind us of our colorful past. As we see our town laid out before us from the air, we can recognize the neat patterns that the familiar buildings and streets make for all who visit us. A healthful climate, ideal living conditions, great prosperity, and an association with the highest type of neighborly people offers us a large share of the good things of life right here in our town. Some important names keep popping up in our history books. So let's review some of the old and interesting stories that one of our town historians, Mr. William McMurray, has been kind enough to retell for us, complete with fable, but mostly fact. Today, our river is a busy place with tugs and ferries and a fine bridge to help our town's progress in modern commerce. But years ago, at the juncture of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers, it was on these white cliffs of Illinois that the Indians painted the famous Piazza bird that was viewed in amazement by Père Marquette and Joliet on their initial trip down the Mississippi River in June 1673. Our town was founded by Louis Blanchette, French fur trader, in the year 1769. Louis Blanchette's home is a town landmark. Among our first settlers was the colorful Daniel Boone, who came here in 1799. After a career of fighting and peacemaking with the Indians, he later supervised the building of a home 24 miles west of St. Charles that his architect's son Nathan designed. Boone died there in the lower right room of the house, which was called the Death Chamber. The house was rehabilitated by a descendant of Daniel Boone, one Colonel Curlee. A mammoth elm tree located in the yard of the Boone estate became known as the Judgment Tree, for it is here that Daniel Boone acted as judge and jury of St. Charles. Legend has it that an early desperado met his end by being hung from one of the branches of the Judgment Tree. This old hotel is where Lewis waited for Clark before going off on their expedition. The Boone's Lick and South Main Street marker signifies the opening of the West. The Boone's Lick Road historical marker is on the main highway out of which grew the Santa Fe, Salt Lake, and Great Oregon trails. Indian scouts, wagons, deer, and buffalo are the appropriate design on the mural of the marker. Our famous Kicking Mule tombstone in Borromeo Cemetery, erected by an understanding wife, gives warning to today's citizens to stay away from things that kick, whether liquid or not. On this spot was located the first state capitol of Missouri from 1821 to 1826. Other historical old houses in our town have markers that tell our history. It's a long way from the Daniel Boone Judgment Tree to the way justice is dispensed at our county courthouse. Today, St. Charles has grown to be an active, busy center of scientific farming and industry, and our people are growing with the town. We started as a trading post, then St. Charles became a transportation center. Today is a busier town of new industries and the necessary businesses that provide for our needs. We can buy everything we want to wear, eat, or put into our homes in our well-stocked, well-merchandised stores. There's plenty of traffic, but it's well-regulated and keeps moving. It's easier on the housewife today with modern facilities and the ready-made packaging of so many useful items from food to clothing that she can get out of the kitchen, out of the house, develop outside interests, take part not only in the town's cultural activities, but be active in civic affairs, school matters, scouts, or 4-H. What has made the time for outside activities is the way we are able to shop today. No pondering, no guesswork, packaging. That's the time saver. When we think of packaging, we think of good food. When we think of good food, we think of Hedges and Hoffer Food Liner over at 1050 Clay Street, where 20 employees are on hand to cut and package fresh foods for our tables. Once inside, the clean, well-kept shelves and counters make it easy for quick selection of our needs. With the only self-service meat department in town, there's no waiting here, and we have no worries about parking conveniently and for free, so that we don't have too far to walk with our bundles. Whether it's meat, fruit, vegetables, or canned and packaged goods, they're all conveniently placed for your selection. There are 7 courteous and well-trained employees in the meat department alone to assure fresh-cut, fresh-packaged, government-grade meats. Sanitary and modern refrigeration machinery assure you of the best possible cuts delivered to you either for immediate use or to put in your own freezer or freezing compartment. Mr. Ernie Hedges and Mr. Charles Hoffer, who run the food liner jointly, believe in fresh food neatly packaged and at reasonable prices, arranged conveniently so that a minimum of time is wasted on shopping. From these clean, accessible counters, housewives can serve themselves from these guaranteed fresh, government-inspected and graded packages. Special cuts can be ordered by merely pushing a button and getting one of the 7 men to assist you. Yes, it's quick and easy to get your meat at Hedges and Hoffer. Special cases are used to display fresh farm produce. Here they are kept cool and moist. They are all pre-packaged to ensure cleanliness and freshness. There's no hunting at Hedges and Hoffer. Everything is clearly marked and placed in neat aisles that make shopping a dream. The best quality brands are found here. The latest and newest time savers for your tables are available. All food liner buying is done with quality and price as the first essentials. Then, as new and different products that become available are marketed, you are given the chance to accept or reject them for your future needs. Even the children enjoy helping Mother shop among all the colorful packages. This is a way to start Mother's little helper learning about the foods he will eat. To watch the efficiency at the checkout counter is a pleasure. Courteous cashiers get you out of the store promptly. There's no need to waste a minute of your precious time when you shop at Hedges and Hoffer, one of the fine business firms that is here to serve the people of our town. We have a variety and mixture of backgrounds in St. Charles, having been settled by the French, found as a good place to stop and tarry and come back to by the frontiersmen, later having had a heavy immigration from Germany, and even a period of Spanish rule. All of the characteristics of our ancestors have been blended into a comfortable mixture. We love our homes, we like our neighbors, we're a friendly people. This is a good place to raise our family. Whether we show the next-door neighbor's boy how to play basketball, do a bit of house painting, or rake up old leaves and burn them, it's all part of the homey atmosphere that has continued to make our town grow. The combination of city industry and country farming made for a wide selection of careers. Our town is near enough to a big city to permit our young folks to enjoy all the advantages of the big city on visits, and yet retain the simple, uncomplicated life that is only possible in a town of our size. we are able to know our neighbors, to make lifelong friends, to enjoy a backdoor relationships with the young folks that drop in with our own after school, just for a drink or a cookie, but who stay and play. The way we cover distance today by car, it's as though we were just a stone's throw from the big city of St. Louis. It's fun to visit, but we're always glad to get back to our own hometown. Our town is proud of its fine shops and stores, its many industrial plants, and the many representative business firms that have helped the growth of St. Charles. As we catch a glimpse of the names of our storekeepers, we suddenly begin to realize how many people have been involved with keeping us up with the newest and latest available merchandise. We stop to realize how many of our friends and neighbors are employed right here, how much we can find of interest in the windows. There are a few new stores, but most of the businesses have been going along for years. The familiar faces are here to select the kind of merchandise we will want to buy, to wait on us when we come in to look at the new shipments, to advise us in our selections. All these services are part of today's way of life in our town. With transportation and communication at a high level, we're at home with the New York Original or the Hollywood bathing suit at the same time that our city sisters have it available to them. Let's see how many familiar faces we can see downtown today. In a day, we can reach both coasts via airmail and our trusty friend, the mailman. It takes a lot of people to make a world, they say, but our little world that starts right here at home in St. Charles is a pleasant place to be, among pleasant people. We may go to a different school or church, we may have completely different interests, but we all try to find a common ground and a basis for understanding. For if we can find peace and unity in our town, if we can get along one with another, we can expect that this same feeling can be communicated to other areas and gradually spread throughout the world. Then we and our children may finally have a workable, neighborly peace in our time. First, among our own here, then throughout our country, and then the world. A town like St. Charles requires a lot of bread, the staff of life. For the past 18 years, our town and St. Charles County has been supplied with the best in golden crust bread from Denker's Bakery. When you pick up a golden crust loaf, do you ever stop to think what went into its delicious homemade taste? Well, when the pure ingredients have been weighed and measured, a giant dough mixer takes over, and automatically the dough is divided into pieces of exact size, weight, and texture. A check is constantly being made to ensure uniformity. Nearly the entire operation at Denker's is automatic, needing only an occasional guiding touch from an attendant. Here the dough is divided and rounded. Denker's Bakery is proud of its ultra-modern plant, which is the last word in cleanliness. 15 employees keep this machinery going to give us the delicious oven-fresh golden crust bread. It's molded and placed into baking pans. Buns and coffee cake are also made scientifically like this. After the dough has had time to raise, it is then placed in the ovens, your assurance of even, thorough baking. Can't you just smell that delicious fragrance of fresh-baked, golden crust bread as it comes out of those even-temperatured ovens? Every batch is tested to assure the even quality of golden crust-enriched bread. After the bread is cooled for a few minutes, it is carried to another machine where it is cut into convenient slices ready to be wrapped. Then the familiar wax wrapper is quickly folded around it, sealing in the flavor, that flavor that you've come to expect in golden crust bread. Complementing the plainer baked goods of the Denker Baking Company is the fancy pastry, cakes, and rolls from the Cottage Bakery, in which Mr. and Mrs. Henry B. Denker are also interested. Delicious cinnamon rolls, fruit rolls, and a variety of fresh rolls are baked here. Filling eclairs is a gooey job unless done by professionals. Don't they look delicious? All cakes are rich in butter, clean in preparation, and filled with the best of ingredients. These are a delightful addition to any tea, supper, or dinner party in which you want to give a home-baked taste. There's a wide selection here, and you may be assured of fresh, everyday baking at Cottage Bakery. Decorating special cakes for special occasions is an everyday occurrence at Cottage. Beautifully decorated wedding cakes of unusual design can be ordered to your wedding table. Established in 1919 by Ollie E. Denker and August Stedhoff, Denker Baking Company has been serving our town since. Today, there are 3 trucks to take care of the deliveries to St. Charles and the county. Not long after our town was settled, pioneers found that the rich soil had a potential that could be turned to gold. Many remained instead of trekking westward for that gold. They put their faith in Mother Earth. With the establishment of agriculture, St. Charles' continued prosperity was ensured. The balanced trade which built up then remains here today, giving our town a stable economy. The interest in farming by the business people of our town has paid off in higher sales volume due to farm trade. For if farmers, like anyone else, are able to make more money, they are able to spend more with St. Charles merchants and live better. Balanced farming programs under the sponsorship of local farm groups and the United States government are continuing to aid farmers of the Middle West by assisting with crop marketing, crop improvement, disease prevention among cattle, and many other helpful works. Our scientifically minded farmers keep better hours, live under better circumstances, and are able to keep a better stock of animals today. So many new methods of producing more value per head of cattle by scientific feeding and care have been developed in the last 15 years. Diseases are well under control in cattle. Just as medicine has advanced for human beings in our day, so cattle have benefited from the use of the new drugs and antibiotics in our town. When there is so much hunger in the world, we must realize how fortunate we are in these United States to be able to breed the best in food for ourselves and families. We are always trying to improve our stock and to find ways and means of producing more so that we may share our good fortune with our less fortunate friends. It is always such a peaceful sight to see the mother suckling her little ones. They are of the healthy stock that we're fortunate to be able to breed in our area. More calories and vitamins for our own young, growing population. We take pride in our farmlands and pastures and sometimes realize the hard work it takes to bring us the produce that builds the strong bones and teeth in our bodies. Milk is an essential of our everyday food consumption. Mr. Paul Blessing, president, and Mr. Ted Wilbrand, treasurer and office manager of the St. Charles Dairy, have been buying from neighboring farms which are able to supply fresh, sanitary, and wholesome products of the highest quality. Here, sturdy, healthy cows walk back to the barn for milking. Soon to be one of the typical producers for the dairy is this 5-week-old calf. Bertha alone gives 10,000 pounds of milk, 575 pounds of butterfat in 305 days of being milked twice a day. Scientific milking methods make it easier on the cows and a much simpler procedure for the milker. For in a modern sanitary milk house, the milk goes directly from the cows and is dumped into a cooler. Care and interest in the health of our town is one of the reasons that the St. Charles Dairy Company is one of the ever-growing businesses that take care of the necessities of our everyday living. Milk from healthy herds is delivered fresh from the farm. Purity of the milk is guarded carefully. Cans and machine equipment are the finest available, and the highest sanitation is maintained under supervision of the St. Louis City and State Dairy Inspectors of the Health Department. The cans are washed and sterilized before they're sent back. As the milk arrives from the farm, it is conveyed inside the plant, weighed, sampled for flavor and richness. Then the milk flows through sterile stainless steel tubes into storage tanks. Some is set aside to become ice cream. The remainder goes to the pasteurizing equipment. Almost immediately, the milk goes through this new type of high-temperature, short-time pasteurizer. This completely stainless steel unit pasteurizes the milk in less than 20 seconds, lowering the bacteria count while preserving more fine, fresh flavor. St. Charles Dairy is the only grade A dairy in our town and was the first to deliver pasteurized milk in this area. A machine sterilizes the milk bottles, washing them with high-pressure jets of scalding water and high-temperature steam. Another machine automatically fills the shiny, clean bottles with milk and seals them to maintain purity and the fresh, wholesome taste. The sterile bottles are filled without being touched. The cover caps protect the pouring lip of the bottle from soiling until it is opened on your table. The versatile St. Charles Dairy also maintains modern facilities for packaging milk in sanitary paper cartons. This machine opens the cartons and applies a heavy coat of hot wax to the interior to make sure that the carton will be sanitary and will not leak. After the wax cools, the cartons are automatically filled, crimped, and stapled with cool, fresh milk ready for delivery to customers of the St. Charles Dairy. Dolly Madison introduced ice cream to the United States when she served it at a White House dinner in 1809. From crude methods of freezing ice cream in home kitchens, ice cream making has grown to be an important industry. The manufacture of ice cream is subject to the regulation of the pure food laws. For ice cream is a nourishing food as well as a treat. The St. Charles Dairy has a delicious tasting, high-quality ice cream that is the delight of children and grown-ups alike. Courtesy and service are two words that are well used at the St. Charles Dairy Company because you can be supplied with these delicious products as they make house-to-house deliveries or supply your favorite store with fresh products every day. From the farm to your door is the slogan that the St. Charles Dairy Company has been working for at their dairy for the benefit of our town and its well-fed people. There is no better treat than ice cream for children, especially if it's St. Charles Dairy Company ice cream. It's really a valuable and nourishing item of the daily diet. It actually is health in frozen form, important for invalid and athlete alike. It's a pleasant way to assure children of the proper amount of milk and cream intake. Ice cream's not a luxury, it's a necessity to a properly balanced diet. That's why it's so important that it be rich, creamy, well packaged, and bought through dependable sources like the St. Charles Dairy Company. Reliable products, trustworthy people to make these products, and careful scientific and modern methods go into making these delicious dairy foods the best buy for your family. These are a good reason for St. Charles Dairy to be proud of its record of service to our community. Established since 1919, employing 60 people, most of whom own their own homes in St. Charles, they are the people who serve you. From 2 wagons in the early days to a fleet of 25 trucks today is the record of St. Charles Dairy service to you. That is why particular people in general, and careful mothers in particular, choose St. Charles Dairy to buy their dairy products for the whole family. One of the places of which our town is duly proud is Blanchette Park. Well equipped, safe and spacious, The park is remarkably equipped for recreation and sports. Here, a swimming pool and ball field have been provided for the active sports fans, and a lovely picnic site is available for parties and family fun. The beautiful walks among ever-changing foliage, the birds and squirrels are a constant source of interest to the many visitors to our park. Of course, the younger generation prefers the active sports like softball. There are ample playing fields. The bicycle paths are a favorite for the teenagers who get a chance at both exercise and meeting their friends here. The really younger set takes to the swings as soon as the weather is nice and there's someone to lend a helping shove, but everyone agrees it's fun to use our wonderful Blanchette Park for the interests of the whole family. Groups of all types use the facilities of the park. Here, the Cub Scouts of Pack 375 Den 5 are busy on a project under the able leadership of Den Mother Mrs. McCormick and Den Chief Brian Beiser. They do constructive work and enjoy the fresh air and sunshine that the park affords at the same time. This is a healthy way toward accomplishment. These boys are busy with their hands, but busy with their mouths at the same time, and it is here that they also learn to share and work and live with the good neighbors of our town. St. Charles has many beautiful churches of all denominations. San Carlos Borromeo Church was the first Catholic church organized west of the Mississippi. Started in 1869 and completed in 1872, it was destroyed by fire in 1915 and rebuilt in 1916. We are pleased with the good attendance of both young and old at our fine inspirational services. It demonstrates a community spirit of all denominations. If we start our young people through our religious schools and help them to the ways of tolerance and understanding of their friends and neighbors, they can lead broad and fruitful lives. The many lessons we learn and the wide guidance and spiritual help we receive from our active spiritual leaders is important. For no matter what religious affiliations we have, we are free to practice our faith without discrimination. The fine activities to aid the youth and aged of our town, to make useful citizens and fulfill active lives, the meeting of family and friends on cultural and social terms as well as spiritual, is part of the wonderful work of all of our churches. It is through our spiritual relationships that we learn how best to get along with our fellow man, how best to serve our community, and how best to try to achieve peace in our time. One respected firm that has been servicing St. Charles for 20 years is the Bowie Funeral Home. This home, with its rich heritage of understanding, sympathetic, and dignified service to the people of our town, has for many years kept pace with the needs of our community. It is at times like these that we need strong, dependable people to lean on, people of good taste and judgment to help us through a rough time in our lives. For it is at times like these that we need faith and understanding and strength to carry us forward. Providing a competent and intimate service is the business of the Bowies. Appropriate organ music is a great comfort in times of stress when it is urged that time heals all. It is during meditations like these that one learns that time is a teacher and that the ways of the world are worked out in the blueprints of the master planner. Every comfort and courteous service is given the bereaved, every care the departed. Home-like, well-kept, pleasant rooms are provided for the family and their friends where privacy is assured. In this home of quiet, good taste is the place to rest for the tasks that we face. For the Bowies know our needs at times like these. They can take all of the distressing details off of our hands and leave us to our pleasant memories. In their years of service to our town, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Bowie and their son David have helped us over a lot of bad moments. Their graciousness, their understanding of our problems, their fast and efficient service Their helpful suggestions and consideration for our feelings at times like this are a comfort which we need during life's distressing moments. Spacious, well-appointed limousines driven by considerate chauffeurs like Clarence Billow, David Bowie, Oscar Ermeling, and Arthur C. Bowie accompany you and help to make a funeral service a thing not to be dreaded, but rather a thing of beauty to honor the departed when planned and executed by the Bowie Funeral Home. The Bowies are here to serve St. Charles in a capacity that is needed at some time by every family of our town and are ready to be of help to their neighbors. For dependable, efficient, and comforting service, the Bowie Funeral Home is operating in our town to serve the needs of our large and growing community. One of the reasons that St. Charles is known throughout the nation is the fame of Lindenwood College. Located in our town, it is one of the first and finest colleges for women in the country. Lindenwood was founded in 1827 by Major George Sibley and his wife Mary Easton Sibley. Begun as a school to qualify young women to become enlightened, accomplished, and useful members of society, Lindenwood and its graduates have won national acclaim. 10,000 women have attended Lindenwood in the past 20 years. Today, learning is made to be a pleasure, not a task. Informality is important to school life. The instructor is a friend who is just there to help you learn and broaden your views on what is what in the world. It is this healthy attitude toward learning that has crowded our colleges with eager young people who will one day take our place in the running of our country or the future of our scientific achievements. This beautiful campus is the showplace of our town. The campus boasts of 145 acres of well-kept ground. Enrollment here is limited to 400 students. Besides their study, girls at Lindenwood can choose from a variety of sports and social activities to fill in their time interestingly. The buildings have a gracious dignity from the outside, but inside, they're a practical place for the students to work and live. Major Sibley would be amazed at the part that women play in the world today, particularly in industry. Mary Easton Sibley would be shocked at what our young people call being enlightened. No atomic fission in her day, no competition with men either. The present president is Dr. Frank McClure, who, unlike the founder, is able to have his little joke with the students in the tea room of Lindenwood and still enjoy their respect. As we watch the fine group of young ladies emerge from their classes, we can see the pleasure in their faces. They have been taught to open their minds to learning, to ask questions that will broaden their scope of knowledge, to discuss freely what they do not understand. All that is asked in return is an open and ambitious mind. For before they leave Lindenwood, it is hoped that they will know from their experiences in study where they are going. In other words, what they want to do with their lives, what they want as their life's work, what they are capable of accomplishing. To help accomplish the task of making mature grown-ups of young teenagers, a very select group of educators compose the faculty at Lindenwood. Each is a specialist in his field, but they have one thing in common. They like to mold and build young people to mental maturity. There are many ways of spending one's leisure at Lindenwood. There are all kinds of relaxing sports like riding and hiking. There's dancing to let off some excess energy, or there's just swinging and talking with the gang or finishing that novel you have to review for English Lit. But whatever the girls choose, it is here in abundant measure, and it never need be done alone, for there is always someone around who feels like doing the same thing. As soon as the sun is warm and the grasses become green, the sun worshippers gather on the broad lawns at Lindenwood. Some to study, others to just relax from study, maybe with a game of cards or just some talk. We can be proud of this disciplined group of young people. After all, they must live up to study requirements, engage in extracurricular activities, and still budget their time so that there is sufficient leisure to enjoy the luxury of sunbathing. We are fortunate in St. Charles to have such excellent schools. Schools like the Lincoln School not only teach the 3 R's, but in a practical way follow the balanced program of learning, sports, and social life. There is so much more to learn today that even the infant starts its first words with airplane instead of mama as it passes overhead the carriage. The world has narrowed so in our time that the average child in school must be equally at home with the names of Korean towns or the history of Japan as we used to be with the spelling of MISSISSIPPI. If you ask some of the children what their favorite school period is, they're likely to say recess, for it is here where the animal spirits are let loose. The informal play and banter with the girl or boy at the next desk makes for a happy time. This is not only fun, it's good exercise and helps to build strong bodies. The relaxation from work tensions helps to build sound minds, so that our upcoming citizens will truly be able to take their place in the community and have much to contribute to it. A new addition to the junior high school is being built to accommodate our ever-increasing population. Mr. Stephen Blahurl, who is superintendent of St. Charles's fine schools, has an able assistant in Mr. Fred Berger, who is principal for the 5th year. He is responsible for a staff of 40 teachers who work with a student body of 900 pupils. There's a lot of work to getting a school ready for our young people, but since we know the benefits before the work even gets started, it's a worthwhile task. A new school with modern facilities always improves the quality of the work that can be accomplished in the schoolrooms. Physical education is as important to the growing child as mental growth, for it is here where a child first learns to coordinate the body and make it work for him. Every muscle is used and developed in all the various forms of physical exercise. Band practice is an interesting and exciting part of extra-school activity. It interests our children in music and at the same time teaches them to work with others. There is much that goes on behind these walls. Study of practical subjects that will be useful in the home or in a profession are the way our children are being taught in our town. This school has a very complete home economics course where girls can learn to do the things that make for good family living. Ms. Wava Scott teaches the cooking and baking course, an elective subject. Here the girls are having a try at making blueberry muffins, another project that is done jointly in school, thus giving the girls a feeling of what it is to work with other people. Miss Nana Knight is explaining an experiment in the chemistry class where the students use the most modern equipment. Here the more studious enjoy peace and quiet and find a place to study and read. Football is not only an exciting and vigorous sport, but an excellent muscle builder. For in football, there is more than meets the eye. First, there is the necessity of learning body coordination. It is necessary to learn how to fall without getting hurt, how to tackle and be effective without hurting the other fellow. Skill in handling the ball, measuring distance, quick decision on the choice of a teammate to catch that pass. Teammate, teamwork. All of these lessons go into the work that's called sport. Here we are watching our own home team play against Horton Watkins High School of Purdue. Watch our boys go. St. Charles High School Band is a colorful sight in their dress uniforms. Bob Hess has been directing their activities for 2 years and has put together an 80-piece band with twirlers. These young people practice 5 days a week to be ready for any and all occasions. Guy Nesledge is the student drum major in the white uniform with baton. 6 drum majorettes join the band and add their beauty to any parade. Let's watch the fun. This is just another of the student activities that we're so proud of in our town. Our young people add color and zip to our lives. Their enthusiasm, their many talents entertain and amuse us all. These are the gay, carefree, happy times, for all too soon each must take his or her place in the pattern of everyday living. Meanwhile, there's music in the air. The Emmanuel Lutheran School is one of the fine grade schools in our town. St. Peter's Grade School was built in 1904, its high school in 1932, and there are now plans drawn up for a new high school. A biology class is studying the crayfish. The girls dissect the crayfish, then look at charts showing the parts of the crayfish. This is a part of the learning of nature's secrets. In later work, they will have a chance to compare the lower animals with the higher animals called humans. Many of the students bring in spiders, butterflies, and other insects, which they mount artistically on charts for the whole class to study and enjoy. Recess at any school is the time for fun and lots of chatter. St. Peter's Playground has many interesting kinds of equipment for the children to use. In this break, they usually find plenty of fun in exercising their arms and legs. Their mouths keep up with the rest of their activity, and they're fun to watch. They're cute looking. They're ours, and we love them. St. Peter's is proud of its school band. They're a 45-piece band, and they work very hard at it, but love every minute of the job. Roger Gronefeld is the student drum major at this school, and they can go through some pretty lively paces. Whether it's a high school dance, a wedding, or just flowers for Mom, our town knows Boosie's Flower Shop. They've been serving St. Charles for years with exciting, fresh, attractive plants and flowers from a well-kept greenhouse. And you can find that special container to put those flowers in at Boosie's, too. For here in this well-stocked shop is a complete assortment of interesting vases, bowls, and novelty holders, as well as a wide variety of lamps of all kinds. On the tasteful display shelves at Boosie's, you can find plenty to choose from for that little something you wanted to get for Aunt Carrie's music corner, or the knick-knack you wanted for your own living room. In the novelty merchandise which Boosie's offers to the people of our town, everyone's taste is taken into consideration. Just take a look at the interesting selection. The combination of practical novelties with flowers or plants is, of course, Boosie's specialty. A hanging lamp for ivy or philodendron serves 2 purposes, illumination and decoration. For the good taste at Boosie's assures you of a perfect blending of flowers and containers for any selection. The greenhouse at Boosie's is filled all year round with many varieties of flowers. Bridal bouquets are a specialty, and at Boosie's you can be relieved of all details of wedding flower arrangements. It's nice to know that we can get this service, for flower etiquette can sometimes be very exacting. You can almost smell the fragrance of these full-bodied, colorful flowers. They're fresh. You know they must be. They're from Boosie's. Just placing an order with the Boosie's assures you that all problems will be carefully and tastefully handled. Your flowers will be fresh and beautiful and will fit your particular color scheme. These people are experts. Flowers have so many meanings. The emblem of Speedy, say it with flowers, assures you that Boosie's is part of a worldwide delivery service for dependable flowers sent to anyone, anywhere you choose. Careful handling during delivery is a must, and all arrangements such as exciting wedding bouquets, appropriate funeral sheets, hospital bouquets, or attractive mixed flowers for your home are placed in containers before they are delivered to ensure their arrival in perfect condition. That care is why Boosie's have earned their working motto, artistry in flowers. All roads lead to St. Charles. The dirt roads of just a few years ago are now the highways connecting our town with the major cities of America. On these modern highways, the farmer brings his produce to town. The salesman sells his wares. The industrialist can make his deliveries. For this is one of our modern means of communication, of trading. The whole family enjoys the pleasant and educational experience of riding to the north, east, and west of our town, where we see the interesting countryside, the fine produce and cattle that contribute to our industry. We broaden our knowledge of the wonderful country of which we are a working part. Not only our town, but our nation is fortunate in having the great numbers of fine highways to make trade and communication so much easier. For nowhere in the world does an interconnecting network of highways exist as it does in the United States. All we have to do is look at the destination cards on the many buses that pass through our town, or the license plates on the cars that visit our town, to know how much a part of the nation our town is, and how easy it is for us to get to any part of our country over our fine roads. With automobile travel being such an important part of our transportation facilities, we feel fortunate in our town to have Punman Motors Company, who for years have provided dependable sales and service for the St. Charles area. Whatever your tastes and requirements may be, you'll find what's just right for you in the 55 new Fairlane series by Ford. In the Punman Motor Company showroom, we can see the new wraparound windshield, the new body trim, the sleek lines that give these cars a crisp, clean, new look. They ride like a dream with their new Y-block V8 and six-cylinder engines. They have power steering, power brakes, power window and seat controls. For in Ford, you have the new Astrodial control panel, the new deep-deck luggage compartment, and a new kind of body ventilation. Punman Motors will be glad to show you all of these exciting new features if you stop in to see the importantly re-engineered and beautifully restyled 55 Fords. A practical town and country car, equally at home for business or taking the whole family out. For comfort and beauty of appearance, the town sedan is a practical buy. It brings you the maximum inconvenience while driving with all the power features you can choose from in a Ford. Top quality guaranteed used cars are a feature of Punman Motors, checked carefully and put in first-class condition before they are offered for sale. Your good neighbors R.T. Pundman and Ed J. Pundman and son Ricky Pundman are ready to show you around or talk over your motor problems. Mr. Frank Nick is the manager of the service department, which furnishes courteous, dependable service. Well-trained mechanics, members of a staff of 36 employees, know all of your problems, and their fine service is the reason that customers rely on Pundman Motor Company year after year for their repair jobs. More and more people in our town are learning that they are assured of fast and thorough service when they bring their car to Pundman Motor Company. The careful precision work, the years of experience, the spirit of getting a job well done are all the more reason that you can depend on and feel safe with a Pundman job on your car. The paint shop at Pundman's is the only one in our town equipped with an electric paint drying oven for that porcelain finish. And of course, every care is taken to prepare your car's surface for a long-lasting job. Joe Kerfman manages the parts department and keeps his men well supplied with the very part that you need when you need it. Every part is examined and tested before it is used. Just another reason why Pundman Motor Company is growing and will continue to grow to meet the expanding needs of our town. And whether your needs are a new car of the future, that Ford that is always ahead, or a used car that you know will give you many thousands of miles of trouble-free use, or a servicing job of any kind, the Pundman folks are the ones in our town to fill those needs with confidence. One of the real features of St. Charles is the variety of its styles of buildings. We take it pretty much for granted, but some of the old homes remind us of the mixture of peoples that settled in our town in days long past. After the Spanish and French influence, a large influx of Germans in 1836 also brought with them their culture. Now the modern ranch home, or the ultra-modern glass wall type with carports, are beginning to take their place among the styles and types of the past. Everywhere we look in our town, we see new construction. We see the expansion of our town in the new residential developments, which are only a few minutes by convenient public transportation or family car from the stores and shopping centers, and yet far enough from the main thoroughfares to assure children safety in play. Schools are close by, and our children can safely ride their bicycles through these sections of individual houses and enjoy the good, clean air without fear of accident from traffic. All of these houses make our town an interesting place to live. Of course, those of us who own the old houses today have brought them up to date with modern plumbing and kitchen appliances that are available to our generation. But we live steeped in the history of our past, many through our own ancestors, some through the purchase of a house with a history. We begin to realize that in our town, it isn't the house you live in, but the people who live in it that makes us known as the friendly people of St. Charles. We have an active, efficient, and able group who make up our Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Robert L. Hayes is typical of the men who help to promote the business advantages of our town. They're here to welcome the new industries and people who are coming to St. Charles to further our ever-growing town. For our town offers to industry the facility of excellent rail and water transportation. We are close enough to the big cities of the Midwestern part of our country, and yet far enough from them to offer great attraction for establishment of large plants, plenty of land, power sources, and a good choice of manpower. Not far from St. Charles is the small, quiet town of Weldon Springs. Here the long wagon trains stop to quench their thirst and rest in the shade of the sycamores and willows. Civilization has tainted the springs, otherwise there is little change. Seen only by an occasional motorist, Weldon Springs, snug in its hollow, safe from changes, was shocked when Uncle Sam built a huge arms plant in the hills. The village resisted the pressure of this boom, and it is St. Charles that will again benefit from the new atomic installation and its 3,000 workers when the atomic energy plant gets into operation. The Bernard McMenemy Contractor Incorporated, with general offices at 1914 Clay Street in St. Charles, has specialized for 10 years in excavating, grading, and land clearing and general construction. The company owns and operates a complete service, including engineering and supervision, and have specialized in such projects as subdivision clearing and grading, boat harbor excavation, farm ponds and lakes, digging new and cleaning old drainage ditches, building terraces and waterways, building levees to protect lowlands, cleaning and clearing fence rows, deep plowing sand deposits left by river flooding, grading access lanes and roads, digging trench silos, and subsoiling farmland. The company has available a complete line of heavy equipment, including bulldozers, high lifts, drag lines, cranes, rubber-tired high-speed earth movers, tractors, scrapers, tree-clearing blades, brush rakes, deep plows, liquid fertilizer applicators, subsoiling equipment, and motor graders. All practical machinery that the Bernard McMenemy Contractor Incorporated has been using efficiently to help our town prepare the groundwork for the construction of new homes, farms, and farmlands. Timber clearing equipment is important to our town. McMenemy's giant tree cutter, mounted on a 175 horsepower diesel tractor, clears trees and brush from land in preparation for farming or commercial sites. This land clearing equipment weighs 52,000 pounds. The steel cutting blade has a serrated edge that is kept razor sharp. After several cuts are made around the roots of a tree, the nose-like bar is raised into the tree and pushes it over, thus tearing out the heart of the stump. This equipment will cut trees up to 5 and 6 feet in diameter, as well as small trees and brush. And what's very important is that the trees are cut under the ground surface so that the remaining roots decompose quickly. A special raking attachment is used to gather the brush into windrows for burning. Because of the amount of humus in the soil in wooded areas is great, in most cases when land is to be used for farming, it's necessary only to disc the ground to prepare a seed bed for the first 3 or 4 years. Excellent crop yields have been obtained the first year after removal of timber and brush by this method. Just another reason why the experience of the Bernard McMenemy organization is so important to the people of our town. As the working day draws to a close and the lights come on, St. Charles takes on a festive look. It's time to treat Mother to a restaurant dinner. There's a good movie we promised the children could see. Or it's the first free time we've had to window shop, as well as pick up that much-needed suit for Dad or lamp for the house that will come out of our birthday gift money. Everything is here for our use and as we can see from the air, everything is so neatly laid out. Our town has a variety of industries. We take pride in the many beautiful homes, the well-placed schools. For here in St. Charles, there is so much. We're a town of good business, good schooling, good fun, and good neighborliness. It's a lively town with enough service clubs and amusement to help us forget the cares of our working days. We may travel far and wide, but we know that we'll come back because we like our busy town, and we like living here. For this is our town, St. Charles, Missouri, USA.